In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of the El Viejito Extra Anejo right here on the Tequila Hombre. Coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of a new Extra Anejo from El Viejito. It's new in the United States. It's been around Mexico for a little while. The bottle that I'm reviewing comes from batch 7, so it's not going to be like other bottles we tried before. It's a newer batch. Little background information on the brand. El Viejito is the house brand for NOM 1107, which is owned and operated by Juan Eduardo Nunez. It's a good friend of mine. I had a chance to go up and visit the distillery and actually did a tour of the distillery. So if you want to see what the distillery looks like, I'll put a link to the tour in the description so you can check it out. But, well, let's get into how this tequila is made and move on to the tasting portion. So here we go. Okay, so NOM 1107 is located in Atotonilco, which is up in the Altos region, the Los Altos region of Jalisco. So they use Los Altos agave, of course, for this. For making this tequila, they use brick ovens to cook the agave. After the agave are cooked and all those wonderful starches are converted to beautiful sugars, they then use a roller mill to extract the sugars from the agave fibers. After that's complete, then they ferment in stainless steel tanks that are closed. This is one of the few distilleries I've seen where they use a closed tank, and they do this because they don't want ambient yeast and stuff doing things that are uncontrollable during the fermentation. I actually like that, because then he has more control over fermentation. He uses his own yeast that he pitches and has more control over what the flavor profile is going to be like. So you'll find any distilleries that do a closed fermentation will have more control over the flavor profile, and you'll be less susceptible to really huge variances in the fermentation of the final product, and the taste of the final product. So after it's done fermenting, then it is twice distilled using stainless steel stills, and they use hybrid stills there, which is kind of different. So it's actually stainless steel still with a copper cap on it. And so there's a mixture of both stainless and copper. And that way they don't get too much copper influence into the distillate, which if you've ever had copper still stuff, it can add a metallic taste when it's all copper. And so to have a little control over that, they use stainless steel stills with copper caps on them, copper tops on them. Okay, and then after it is distilled, it is then placed in previously used whiskey barrels, where it is aged for over 3 years to become an Extra Anejo. But there you go. That's the process on how this tequila is made. Now let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the tasting portion and see what this Extra Anejo is all about. All right, so let's get into the tasting portion and see what this tequila is all about. Now, for those of you that wonder about pricing, this typically retails online for right around $80 for a 750 milliliter bottle, which is really good price for an Extra Anejo. So let's see what we think about the flavor profile of it, and I'll let you know whether I think it's worth it. So we'll go ahead and pour some in the glass. It's kind of interesting, the bottle on this, because there's no like pour top or anything like that. It's just wide open glass bottle. And no cork, just a screw on top. All right. So looking at this puppy in the glass, it does coat the glass nicely. Oh, there's just all the legs broken stuff off it, but it looks like it's going to have a nice viscous mouthfeel to it. It's now got pearls, but it was... There you go. You can see some of the legs and tears forming on the glass now. So it's going to have a nice viscous mouthfeel to it. Looking at the tequila itself, it is kind of a light amber color. Looks nice. All right, so let's see what we get on the nose on this. Really nice cinnamon and baking spice cooked agave notes up front. Definitely some citrus coming through, some stone fruit like apricot and like apricot. It's definitely some vanilla and caramel notes coming through. A slight hint of cherry in it as well. It smells like a really nice extra añejo. Smells really nice on the nose. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavor profile. But first, this is my first sip of tequila for the day. So, of course, I'm going to acclimate my mouth to, this is actually 41% ABV. So we'll go ahead. Get my mouth acclimated. I'll pour a little more tequila in the glass before we look for tasting notes. Okay, salud. Coats the mouth nicely. Nice silky mouthfeel to it. Really nice, rich cinnamon and baking spice notes coming up front. Followed by kind of like a not a maraschino, but like a Bing cherry note, kind of a more subdued sweetness cherry note. Hints of apricot and citrus in there as well. Some nice vanilla and caramel notes. The finish is kind of a medium finish on it. It doesn't stick around very long, but it's definitely really easy to sip and really, really good. It's nothing wrong with this at all. I'm not picking up any harsh bitterness or anise notes. There's a little bit of heat to it, and I suppose that's from the whiskey that was in the barrels previously. But yeah, I definitely could sit and enjoy this with a good stogie. After dinner, extra añejo. Nice, rich and complexity to it. For an $80 extra añejo, really enjoyable. Definitely one I think people can enjoy. It's got a nice bourbon kind of flavor note to it as well. So those of you that like bourbons, I think will thoroughly enjoy this as well. So how would I rate this? I'd give it a solid 4 agave, you guys. I definitely recommend picking some up, especially for $80. This is a really nice extra añejo for the price. I definitely will keep some on my shelf to enjoy, and hope you try it too. I'm going to look into getting some of this for Ferment and Still, so you will be able to find it there. We'll go ahead and I'll go tell them to order it and to add it to the site. So if you like the information I gave you in this video, make sure you click the thumbs up and give me a like. If you're new to the channel, bienvenido, welcome. And if you like unbiased reviews like this one, where I'm not paid for reviews at all, I don't accept any money from brands for reviews, so I can keep things honest and unbiased, then you've come to the right place. Make sure you click the subscribe button right there and the notification bell next to it. And that way you'll get notified every time I post a new review like this or a new informational video that will give you the power as a consumer to know when you go into a liquor store or looking online that you're not going to buy something that you're going to regret buying afterwards. And until next time, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So hey, if you pick up a bottle of the El Viejito Extra Anejo, you're going to be in good shape. It's delicious. And for $80. Salud. Bye, guys.